How can you tell when Pirate Blizzard 7 software is lying whenever his mouth is moving? At this point, it's not even an over exaggeration that Pirate Software has lied about pretty much anything that you could imagine. He has lied about being attacked, or lied about being harassed, lied about being swatted, or lied about not meeting someone below 18 while being above like 21 or something like that, lied about not being someone who doxes, completely misrepresented his past, and so many other things. And now to this list is gonna be added fake doxing accusations, most likely. It's insane. It's insane. And Asmongold still defends this guy. I really wonder what Night Media has on Asmongold just to force him to do these things. In any case, this is gonna be amazing.
But now let's dive into the nitty gritty, the stuff you came for. Pirate Software directly accused me, my moderation team, and community. Now I'm going to start this off by reading through all of his messages, and then I'll show you guys the screenshots that he sent in as well, and then we'll go into this. Now for the 1-2.
We talked about this yesterday. This is insane. I personally think that Pirate Software has some kind of off-the-books Discord server where he's coordinating attacks against other people. Because there's no way. When you look at the guy's actions, everything he says, everything he does, how he just openly reports people for because he thinks that they maybe have broken a rule and wants his followers to report them. There's no way he does not have some kind of space where he coordinates attacks against people. Or either his mods are doing it. It has to be a real thing. I 100% believe that.
Punch against this, or sorry. Now for the 1-2 punch against this bullshit. Quinthio's Discord has people actively doxing me in it. His moderation team is aware of this and has been encouraging it as shown in the images. They've also been digging into Shay and her job as a secondary attack vector. In image 1, Shelf Related, who is a mod, asks for doxing info directly.
Never stop being a victim, okay? Whatever you do, never not be the victim. And I mean, with evidence like this, for example, see the Rain Lamau. Holy! I hope this person goes to jail.
We forwarded all of this to Discord Trust and Safety as a result. We've also banned all of the users that were taking part of this from our Discord. Screenshots below with the images blocked out. Now he's directly addressing me here, and I'll show why. It's because I was putting messages out in my Discord at the same time that he was doing this on his, because I was getting screenshots sent, and he says, "No, Quinthio, my address is not public information, and your users are
This is a funny one. I do not know if this is true, but people commented a lot about the fact that Pilot Software has himself multiple times said his address, that he has a PO box, that people send him stuff like that, that he himself on stream multiple times has actually said and stated his address.
distributing it on your Discord.
I don't know if that's true, but I mean, maybe.
While the mods encourage it, they didn't just go after me and Shay either. They went after our moderation team too, as shown here. You cannot bullshit this away. Leave me and my team the fuck alone. Very intense accusations that my community was doxing Pirate Software in my Discord and that my mods were actively encouraging it. Jeez.
And by the way, have no mistake. The reason that Pirate Software is posting that in his Discord is so other people report him. That is the point of that. Because if you're just gonna report someone because you think they're breaking the rules, you just do that. You do. This is just a veiled attempt at getting his fans to pitch in. That's what it is. Make no mistake.
It would be a shame if every point that he made here had ample screenshots and evidence to show the direct opposite. That would be a bummer, wouldn't it? Well, for somebody. So this is the first screenshot that he sent in. And so Amplifox here says, fuck, I can't even redact everything except the quote because just searching it on Google leads directly to it, lol. And so here's Steampunk Ollie in my Discord says, so it's a publicly available document? Amplifox says yes. Ollie responds that anyone could find. And then Nico0 responded here, consider sending this privately to a mod if you're that concerned. Then Amplifox says, but it includes info on Shay's job, which I don't like linking to. Following below that, someone responding says, tell the keywords we do the searching, that's fine as well. And then Shelf down here at the bottom says, send it specifically to me so I can get the tea earlier than everyone. Now what I've decided to do is I jumped back a little bit further behind the screenshot that Pirate Software showed in his video to show you guys a bit of more context and what the community
in his video? Am I missing a Pirate Software video? Oh no.
He was thinking about when this information was coming up. So that same person, they've changed their name, but this is that same profile picture. They're saying, I'm seeing something saying the ferret rescue was formed in 2019, but the stream didn't start until 2023. Is this known? A little bit of further context, they were going into the fact that the ferret rescue that Pirate Software has isn't listed under as a 501c, or it's not registered, something along
No, I just checked. There's no new videos from Pirate Software.
those lines. Again, I'm not super sure. I haven't done a deep dive into it myself, so take that with a grain of salt, but that's what they were going into detail about, and that's what included Shay, since Shay is a part of the team taking care of those ferrets at the rescue. I believe she's an employee for it. But that same person says the source is a bit too much of a dox for me to feel comfortable linking, but it would be information from Shay. Ollie responds, do you mean information Shay has given you or that has been found by someone else? What's the significance of the 4-year gap? They respond, information given to a third party by Shay and released as a sort of mini bio. Ollie says, okay, what if any significance is there? They say the time frame of the creation of the ferret rescue, and they said, yeah, but what are we thinking the 4-year gap means? They say, wasn't someone paying to see registration of rescues, so
also, the reason why Pirate Software's hardbound game has been in early access for almost 10 years is because he has a lot of jobs to do with the ferret rescue and whatnot, okay? So don't be mean, guys.
To give them a timeline to look for. Wasn't the idea that it was founded recently the reason they believe it wasn't in their list? I don't exactly know what this message is, but they continue down. And Ollie says, so I'd suggest if you think it's genuinely valuable information, it should go in the main thread. And I think if you're trying to provide useful information, context is important. So Ollie says, I think most of us here had no idea what you were trying to indicate with what you were saying. And then this person here also said, also side note, why are we still fixated on someone who isn't a part of the drama other than being a ferret herder / PS girlfriend or whatever, especially if you're getting into doxing territory? 4 people gave that an upvote there. And then another community member here says, if you're that worried about posting your info for fear of potential doxing, it's probably not worth it, mate. Editor Connor here just wanted to provide a side note and also show you that, yeah, we are still taking this seriously. Nico0 and Steampunk Ollie have actually been brought on as mods as well, because they've showcased and gone above and beyond and have been very vocal about making sure that people aren't sending dox information, or even if they believe it's going to be close to something of that nature. These guys did an excellent job at, you know, being on top of that. We really appreciate it, and we think that they'd be a great help to us. Just wanted to throw that in there, let you guys know. Sorry for the context interruption, but back to the video. And then someone else here said, pretty sure he said he wasn't posting the info at all to begin with, so it wasn't ever getting posted. And you can see here the community itself is going, okay, but let's keep it level here. We don't like doxing. Nico here says, right, so why even mention it? If it's that hot and from what he's told us, very little value, seems high risk, low reward for me. And they reply back themselves, the info itself isn't bad, just the source is too much to justify what little would be gleaned from it. Basically, that there has been a claim from Shay that they started the rescue in 2019. And then Ollie, here again, I'm not trying to be a dick to you, by the way.
Okay, so far, needless to say, nothing is even remotely close to 1, doxing, or 2, going after the Shay person. Nothing. But, I mean, we all kind of expected that, didn't we?
Point is just that giving unspecific information with no context just opens things up for misinterpretation and adding confusion. So general advice, if you think it's of value, be clear and specific so people can understand and follow up. And they said, I don't know, guess I just wanted to put out what I thought had any value, then table the source. And so again, they continued asking, what do you think the value is? None. And then Nico again here saying, don't post links that may dox, as Amplifox has alluded to. And even someone here saying, do you have any links to that source, talking to them? And so this person sarcastically back, lol, what? He said he won't post because it might be a dox. So please post the dox so we can verify. And then this is where we get into what was screenshotted. So it's a publicly available document. Yes, that anyone could find. Continuing on. And so
okay, yeah. So it's as typical Pirate Software, literally nothing.
So the message.
God, I love Pirate Software. It's okay. I'm gonna just take a screenshot of the letter R. And that's gonna be proof that I'm getting attacked and doxxed because it's a screenshot of the L and R and everything else is blurred out. Oh, yeah, Pirates. I love that Pirate Software thinks he is so much smarter than he actually is. It is amazing, okay? It is amazing. But again, he's like the DETCON champion, the animal well solver, and the guy who loves doing smart things. So yeah, he he does this constantly because he thinks no one's gonna check. This is publicly available information that I could have even honestly checked if I had any idea where to go and would be annoying. And anyone who checks can easily say, wait a minute, this is nothing like what Pirate Software claims. So he constantly lies about these things. He lies in the hopes that no one checks. Because that's just the reality of actually what works currently in mainstream Twitch culture, mainstream YouTube culture. Look at all of the people currently at the top of the Twitch game. All of them are lying about virtually everything. My favorite example is Tectone. Guys, something's gonna happen in a month. A month passes. Guys, something's gonna happen in 3 months. I'm doing a big thing. 3 months pass. He bans everyone who asks about it. Guys, something's happening in 6 months. Trust me on this. Everyone just lies about everything, knowing insider information, knowing this, knowing that. The lies just never stop. With all of these people at the top of the streaming circles, it is insanity.
Here was deleted. It was deleted by the individual that had posted it. That was not us. And then we have Shelf here saying, send it specifically to me so I can get the tea earlier than everyone. Then you're going to see him riffing with that person. Shelf about to get 300 pics of my butthole, and him sending this. Shelf is a jokester. He's a shitter. He says stupid stuff. Matter of fact, I even called him out a little bit like a week or two ago because our Discord went from like 500 members to 1,500. So there was a huge jump. And we had a conversation being like, hey, we can't always, you know, just be shooting this shit or saying something like this because it can get taken out of context and misconstrued now, like it literally just has. Shelf is not a very serious person. And so him saying, send it specifically to me so I can get the tea earlier than everyone is very on par for the course. For example, here is Shelf saying, move on from the topic before I circumcise you next. Next up.
Was he even one of the screenshots, honestly?
Another separate time. Hey, I get we do have a little bit of justified hate against Pirate, but let's not—
Oh, damn, the pregnant black man emojis. Respect.
cyberbully someone because we're suspicious that they're a potential spy. That's my job. Next one here, how many spies do you have in Pirate's Discord? Exactly 12,102. -1 just died. And then we have this one here. It was a gentleman here saying, I think I'm the bad guy. I made the video debunking the fridge video, etc., etc. And Shelf responded, yeah, it is your bad. I'll see you in the ban appeals. Also, everything you're seeing from my mod Shelf, all of these are 12 hours ahead. So if you're noticing the timestamps look a bit wonky, he's 12 hours ahead of my time here. So if you're seeing things like, oh, this happened on the same day, or this like somehow happened a day after Pirate said something or anything like that, that's how you know. If you're seeing screenshots with those timestamps, it's because I received them from Shelf or from other people in my Discord. But I'd already spoken with Shelf because I was getting a bit nervous about, you know, him making jokes and how that could be taken out of context, because he does. He acts like a shithead, and that's just how he's been. He's been with me since literally a year ago now, and he's the longest standing mod.
Okay, we get it. You love Shelf.
That I've had in this community. But not just that, let me show you how Shelf, you know, one of our moderators, reacted to seeing that information and talking about what is a potential dox. Now, I've been throwing around this word a lot, doxing, so I think it's best to continue this by first addressing and defining exactly what doxing is. So this is coming directly from Merriam-Webster. And this is dox, to publicly identify or publish private information about someone, especially as a form of punishment or revenge. With that being defined, I'm going to show you guys the messages between Shelf and this person. You know, he's like, oh, give me the tea. Now, sometimes you're going to see these messages blocked by this, and that is Shelf just showcasing the timestamps of when he edited these messages, because we're not trying to make it seem like he went back and changed things to make himself look better. He's just showing when these were edited. I'm assuming it was typos, things like that. Again, take it for what it's worth, but he's just showcasing when he was editing these messages. So this is that intro message.
Okay, do we care about the Shelf stuff? Because we already understand that none of this matters, okay? This person's character, by the way, being a jokester, being a clown, being a whatever, doesn't even honestly matter. It's just the fact that that stuff already was disproven. If this guy wants to joke around, I don't personally care. If this guy wants to say Pirate Software sucks, fine. So be it. Okay, so we're gonna skip ahead on the next thing.
Doxing Shay's job. I'll leave it up to you guys. Do you think that Shelf conducted himself in a proper way here? I would say so. So now we're getting back into the other screenshots that were included in that second part of Pirate Software's announcement, talking about and alleging the doxing. And these are the other three, as they're all relevant to the same person. So Jglow, that was in my Discord, said, nah, all you need is a weather map of the precipitation that day and the time he posted it online. Now Pirate has blocked these out. And then
What is this? Again, you can't even understand anything. And Pirate Software's, see my proof? No, I don't see your proof. I'm confused.
He says, see the rain, LMAO. And then he follows up, yes, also because there's a rock in the background of the one he posted. So here, Jglow is specifically talking about finding where Pirate Software lives. But what is he specifically talking about? Like, what is he referencing here with something about, precipitation and the time he posted it online? What is that? That's referencing a picture that Pirate Software himself posted. Editor Connor here, trying to give a bit more context. So the images that you're seeing here, I have censored the date of which they were posted because I'm trying to be respectful and not allowing, how Jglow described he found Pirate's address to be directly included in this video. But just so we're all clear, this wasn't like we pulled these out of an archive. These tweets are still fully public on Pirate Software's Twitter. The whole reason I'm making a point of that is it will be important later. But back to the video. What you're looking at right now is Pirate Software on his stream looking on his own Twitter to show people a tweet that he himself posted, which was a picture of his mailbox. I'm just gonna play the clip for a bit so you can see what he's talking about, just give you a general understanding of what Jglow is talking about here.
This is a federal crime. This is not just randomly backing up into it. It is not an accident. It is not at all. It got hit from multiple angles, multiple times. This is a federal crime. I charged it directly at all of the people that were involved, the company that was involved. I know everyone that was involved, and we have pictures of everything. So they can eat my whole ass, and Comcast sucks.
Here's another clip of him talking about it with different photos of his mailbox.
But no, they smashed the shit out of it. They smashed it in the front, they smashed it in the side, and they smashed it in the back. There are dents all over it from multiple angles, showing that it was intent. It was not just somebody backing up to it into it with their...
Well, I'm Googling currently one thing, and Pirate Software's own Discord, not Discord, but Reddit seems to at least have his P.O. box just publicly available because it's publicly available to everyone by Pirate Software himself. So I don't know about that. Is this a P.O. box? Is this a mailbox? This is a mailbox. What's a P.O. box? I have no idea.
Car. It was an intentional attack in the mailbox because I bitched about them, breaking fire code in front of my house and blocking access to my property.
Jglow complete.
Ah, yes, that's a Pirate Software thing to do. Oh my God, you're in front of my house. How about they report you for some random BS that no one cares about? How did he even get a career in the first place? It's just mind-boggling. What kind of mouth breathers actually gave him his career? Are all the people working at IT just this bad? It can't be, right?
Completely removed using he said he ran a script to delete all of his messages from the server. That wasn't us. And so I would show you guys the specific messages where those were the instances, those were the photos used, the mailbox images that Pirate Software himself publicly showed not only on his stream, but publicly posted on his Twitter. Now, I'm assuming these two messages here specifically are containing those images, the see the rain LMAO, or yes, also because there's a rock in the background of the one he posted. So number one, Pirate Software is censoring the images that he himself posted publicly to make it look like he is doing something incredibly malicious here by showing the photos. And he's making it seem like he's just sending straight up pictures of the dude's house with his mailbox out front, which is not true. But he did use Google Streets View and took a photo of, I'm assuming, based on Pirate's reaction, Pirate's mailbox. And you know what Jglow did? He censored it. In fact, he censored it in the same way that Pirate did with censoring his mailbox numbers, things like that. He did the exact same thing. Him talking about all you need is a web.
Okay, so that would not be doxed.
weather map of the precipitation that day and the time that he posted it online, see the rain, so this stuff. So he's clearly explaining in kind of ways, like he's not giving direct location of the place, but he's saying, hey, all you need is a weather map of the precipitation and like all this stuff. I don't like that. If I was awake and alert and seeing this message at that time in the same way that any of my mods were, we would have jumped in on this and said, hey, not okay. Like, let's not even get into this realm because there's no point.
I mean, yeah, again, this is not doxing, but I mean, okay, it's just not it. Pirate Software lying once again. Unexpected, right?
There was no utility to him going over any of this. Now he provides, he did show me these images, incredibly cropped corners of something from a Pirate Software video showing his ferret rescue. Says, yeah, definitely the same place, space above ferret can most likely. And then he says, also notice the way it's cemented into the ground in the gravel road, talking about the mailbox. Then he says, actually a very big house, not gonna lie. And then this fully, completely censored image. You'll have to take me at my word for this because Pirate clearly doesn't want to. And if he hasn't shown these outside of that video that I'm referencing, if he hasn't shown these images, then I'm not gonna share them either because clearly he is not happy with that. But those images that are being censored out, those are incredibly zoomed in and heavily cropped images showing corner points of a house that he was looking at on, maybe he like searched up a website for it. He doesn't confirm that. So the images themselves are not providing actual dox information. It's a corner of the room. That's really creepy. As a matter of fact, there were people reaching out to J-Glow to get private information, and from what he told me, he was saying no to that. I'll read a message that he sent me kind of in response to all this happening. But everything that I'm looking at right now, every image that I am shown that he has sent to me that has been included, if not coming directly from Pirate Software, is showcasing a heavily zoomed in, heavily cropped like corner of an image to like make a point about either the mailbox or he's talking about the ferret rescue. He does not give any concrete details about anything other than the fact that,
By the way, so all of this works perfectly in already the established person who Pirate Software is. Keep in mind, when all of this started because of the World of Warcraft roadshow that Pirate did with 0 mana, he instantaneously reported people to Twitch and to his associates, his ex people that he knowed in World of Warcraft directly to get them banned. And for what did he report these people to try and get them banned? Well, in World of Warcraft, he reported people just who were saying the word mana. Or asking him questions or saying, for example, oh, didn't you have the mana robe? Couldn't you do that? And that's harassment. Pirate Software reported people for this. So, Pirate Software has already a very well-established career of reporting people for false things that he just feels like, okay? He copyright struck the streamer game because the guy who made the game made a video where Pirate Software would be in it, but it wasn't actually in the game, and Pirate Software was like, don't care, we're gonna sue you now, it doesn't matter that it's not in the game, you showed us a video, which is completely not how the law works, or how anything of this works. And, well, too bad Pirate Software did not get sued, honestly. That it would have been hilarious. But yeah, Pirate Software was completely in the wrong. And by the way, he's banning anyone who says these things. So, even without speculation, Pirate Software is objectively constantly doing scummy things, lying about things, misrepresenting things. Okay? The Pirate Software drama is so juicy and fun to observe and just soak in yourself. Because exactly this. Pirate Software constantly is just lying and making things worse. He's not as smart as he thinks he is. He's not able to gaslight people as well as he thinks he can. And all of these things just together form an absolute clown fiesta.
I think I found this thing. While I firmly believe that this isn't doxing, it's still something that I wouldn't want on my Discord. I don't want people kind of touting around and flexing that they know where Pirate Software lives or where his ferret rescue is. I think that's really shitty behavior and it doesn't do anything to contribute to having a community or, you know, having information that is useful for any video that I was putting out. But here is the message that J-Glow sent me, and this was edited as of July 25th, so just wanted to show show that to confirm with you guys. So he says, "Good afternoon, Quinn. I just wanted to start off by apologizing for all the hardship I have caused. I should have deleted more than I already had before when it comes to things, and even though PS himself posted that, it wasn't okay for me to post said edited thing as well." And so he is showing me what he sent to my other moderator as a message. Here he's just quoting a message that I had put out into the chat, and then he says, "I agree that PS is misrepresenting the facts. No one
What is this black box?
publicly gave an address, and I made offhand remarks. PS blocked out the already cropped photos as if I posted them fully, address and all, which is not the case. PS's people cherry-picked said messages and made it a whole narrative that never happened, and skipped over the many times I've been asked and contacted by people for information and have said, no, I don't do that. I have since coded a script that wiped every message that I've sent from your server." He goes on to say that he thinks that Pirate's Discord and his mods, they're literally hypocrites, and he goes on to talk about something else. He doesn't make as strong of an argument here as I would agree with, but continuing on, he says, "Again, I'm sorry for being a bad lie onto you, your server and the members, and the mods for the thing I posted in the past. If there's anything I can do to make things right, please let me know and I will." And so I asked, "Hey, did you have the screenshots of the messages you had sent? We'll need those to provide context of the surrounding messages and what was in the images and messages he censored." Now, truly, end of the day, I would love to show you guys these images to prove that, because I genuinely believe that
If you do that, Pirate Software's gonna report you for doxing.
none of these are providing doxing information. Now, this is my opinion, because I can't really find any legal precedent for doxing. I can find it for harassment that came from like providing this information. For example, if the doxing was done intentionally to get someone.
You can't even do that. Because you need to link everything bad that happened to a person and that person back to this, and this being the motivation or key for everything. Even that is impossible.
Harassed or like physically harmed, something like that. It is my opinion that the information, the photos that JGlow showed, not only didn't share any other information in them, were also censored, but thirdly, didn't get followed up with like, hey, let's do something about this. There was no call to action. There was no saying, hey, let's harass. There was no actual information provided that would have assisted anyone in doing that with the photos that he provided. Outside of a few of them actually linking back to his original tweet that is still public of him showing his own mailbox. I don't think any of the photos that he ended up censoring and saying was doxing is doxing at all. Now, number one, do I think it's okay behavior to be instructing people on how to find somebody's address going off of their own public information that they posted? No, I think that's weird and cringe. And that has been repeated multiple times in my Discord, but we will get there. But that doesn't take away from the fact that Pirate is shaping this and censoring images to make it look like it is so much worse. Like there's actual weight to the claims that he's making. There isn't. There is at no point been a leak of Pirate Software's address in this Discord. Some people, like JGlow or a couple other individuals, have said that they have found Pirate Software's address off of, number one, Pirate's own images, his own information. But number two, they're not posting these images in the Discord, not in the ones that Pirate had censored out, nor anything that was in the Discord. Completely censored in the way that it was, not reverse image searchable. The only way that we could actually confirm that, oh yeah, that is for sure, Pirate's mailbox, is because he's
Jesus, there's a lot left.
taking this response. And I will say that if any of us had seen these images.
By the way, he's not wrong for doing this, but you don't even need to do any of this. You can just, if I had to do this, I would just say, okay, here's what Pirate Software claims. Here is the full text conversation. You can pause and read it if you want, but there's no doxing. There you go. And then I would go on to Pirate Software and, well, you know what he should do? He should report Pirate Software to Discord for falsely trying to get him banned. That's what he should be doing. Because I'm pretty sure... Let's actually check. Is it illegal to try and take down a Discord server? Is it illegal to destroy? No, Discord terms. Can you get in trouble for the Discord server? Discord terms of service. Let's see if this shows who. Oh, no. No, I'm not gonna read it. But there's 100%. It's what Discord 100% probably could do something against Pirate Software if they want to for these false accusations. Because, again, clearly false.
at the time, they would have been deleted anyway because none of this info had anything to do with anything that was going on. Some people were looking into the legitimacy of the ferret rescue that Pirate's running. I haven't found anything that is worthwhile enough.
Pretty sure that's a legit thing. Though the sad part is, he is a 40 that likes ferrets, so I would not trust a man with an animal in general, okay?
To go over with that fact, but I do agree that there's no utility, there's no actual usefulness to showing any of this. Whether it is a dox or not, I don't want it in my Discord, and had I seen it, had my mod seen it, it would have been removed. I keep hinting at things. I'm sorry that this is all over the place. I am getting a little heated. I'm gonna get more into that after we finish this last third post from Pirate Software. So this is the last one. Now I start messaging in my own Discord and he responds to it live during the same time. No, Quinthio, my address is not public information, and your users are distributing it on your Discord while the mods encourage.
Yep, again, I mean, we already know that this is a lie, so... Oh boy.
They didn't just go after me and Shay either, they went after our moderation team too, as shown here. This is that first message of me saying, wait, it's literally public info, I'm so confused, and Shelf saying that's wild. This is that other image of Jayop saying, oh god, it's real. And then last is Jglow saying, brother, I also found Chronos based on a bird and tabletop game, so I'm just going to keep adding to my folders if anyone needs me. Now, number one, Jglow gloating about him finding Chronos based on a bird tabletop game, think that's weird. This is the message that Jglow was responding to here. Guys, I was a red team specialist for 7 years and I once found this guy's address from a photo of his mailbox. That was him making fun of Jglow because they thought it was kind of silly. Some other people were calling him a LARPer for figuring out where he lived because there was nothing of worth to gain from that other than feeling good about yourself for finding it.
Again, I told you, listen, Pirate Software is a never-ending fountain of fucking chocolate milk. No one wants to harm that! No one wants to make Pirate Software change his ways, okay? At this, I mean, I don't want anything. I wanna get a private security firm to protect my little sweet muffin, okay? That's what I wanna do. Everyone wants Pirate Software to keep going. No one wants any harm to him because he's more valuable in the state that he currently is.
And so Jglow was replying to that as seemingly kind of ego checking Jayop. Now, while I agree, I don't think that this is something that you should be flaunting around or acting like you have some info, which could totally get people to ask you about said info. And it is something that should not be tolerated in the Discord. I completely agree with that. While not directly doxing Pirate Software, it's still weird to tote it around as a prize or showcasing that you're smart. But more than that, just to, cover our bases with this last message, his address was not doxed. It was not shown in my Discord ever. And your users are distributing it on your Discord. That. Not true. His address was never distributed on my Discord. And then he says, well, the mods encourage it. But I have proof that they have never once encouraged this. So I've said this multiple times, that, what I've been going over, some of the points that have been...
And again, will Pirate Software answer this? No. No.
Made, although not doxing, still not super comfortable with
it.
But
I can say one thing in Pirate Software's defense, not that it honestly matters, but it's the first part of the second sentence. And your users are distributing it on your Discord. This is just referring to the fact that people are talking about it on the Discord, and that is a type of distribution. But in this case, it has no legal power, no anything, because nothing illegal is being distributed. His address is not actually being distributed.
That they have never once my Discord at all. I wouldn't agree with the same reasoning that Pirate was giving, that his private information was being released to the public, but I think, yeah, it's cringe behavior. You shouldn't be flaunting that stuff. You shouldn't really even be getting close to that. It's not necessary to anything that we're going over. Editor Connor yet again, because I made a really intense jump cut and didn't quite explain going into it, so just so we understand, I am now cutting into and talking more about my mod team and their experience throughout this insane growth that the channel's had, and more specifically that the Discord has had. So just want to make sure we know what we're getting into. I don't want it to be just taken as an excuse. I just want you guys to have the full context of what, these 4 or 5 people, if we're including myself, were put up against in the last couple of weeks. I have a mod team, technically, my branch managers, those are my
Okay, I'm assuming there's no encouraging of doxing. Let's see. What's this? Mods saying no doxing. There's like things
Thing
here.
I do want to make clear is that it's entirely fine to discuss ongoing drama and the people involved. It's fine to do research and find more out, but where it would cross a line that would lead to trouble is if people started organizing group action against anyone, witch hunts, brigading, planning things to adversely affect people, etc. So please keep that in mind. Feel free to look into things, but please don't share personal information like addresses or discuss anything that could be sensitive or private. If you have something that tell this message is the thumbnail. And then down here, Soothsayer says the mods will review it if/when it is posted. Here are gonna. I'm sure there's something of substance, but there's so much hate for this guy and it's insane to me. Other messages that they have here, that's fine, but attacking the rescue in itself is stupid. They go on to say, of all things to attack him about, this is the dumbest shit to attack him about since overall it's a good thing that he's doing. She continues on, all things. This is from one of my other mods, Boy Tiger. They were replying to someone named V. Now there's a lot more context to this, but essentially V had come in and was disagreeing with coding Jesus. They weren't being super tactful. They would talk in circles and just kind of dismiss any point that you prove them wrong on. It's
Okay. I mean, let's see the last statement, I guess.
last thing, and this is something that I never planned to share publicly. It genuinely wasn't until now he wants to come after my moderation team, say we're encouraging doxing, the likes. Let me show you guys a message that I had sent Pirate a couple weeks ago now. This was on July 11th. Hey, I'm writing to you not to start any shit, but this is completely off record. You don't even need to respond. Someone messaged me talking about some drama surrounding you from this week, but they also included that there was this possible info that could dox you that's currently public. They didn't want to dox you. They tried reaching out to your mod team first before they messaged.
Oh God, I know what this is. You never help Pirate Software. This is why he reported you. He wouldn't have done this. It's because Pirate Software saw you type this message on the 11th and he figured, hey, might as well try and do this for it because this is like because in Pirate Software's mind, this is probably like a self-admission to doxing or something like that. Again, he's an idiot. So, yeah, if you did not write this, Pirate Software would have probably not done anything. Most likely would not have done a single thing. This is why you don't help these people. This is why you don't extend any magical olive branches. This is why you do not give them the benefit of the doubt. If this didn't happen, Pirate Software would have not probably even come after you. It's that simple. Pirate Software, again, if Pirate Software has absolutely no morals whatsoever, he's going to use anything and everything he can just to make himself look good. Or, in this case, the constant perpetual victim. In any case, as expected, Pirate Software lied once again about everything. That was Quintian, 10 out of 10, bye!